John Fredericks, America's Godzilla of truth, popular and proficient in picking politics with prophetic precision. And now Jay Fred's picking football. Y'all ready for this? All across the airwaves and streams of the John Fredericks Media Network. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins, your guide to picking football winners. With America's Godzilla of truth, John Fredericks, along with his partners in point picking, Jack and Nate. Also weekly contributors to the website of winners, GodzillaWins.com. Before you make that play, hear what J. Fred has to say. Godzilla Wins on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Oh yeah, for entertainment purposes only.
All right, it's great to have everybody with us today. This is NFL Conference Playoff, Saturday, Sunday. We got games, we got picks. This is Godzilla Wins, and thank you for being with us. Thanks for waking up with us. Always awake, never woke. Great to have you also on Getter Live, where, look, we want your comments. We want to know what you think about these games. We got four monster games coming up this weekend. I don't think you could have scripted this any better, gentlemen. Joining me, my son and the editor of Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com. Jack Fredericks. He's in Tunica, Mississippi, at one of the casinos there. Undisclosed location today as he's incognito. And of course, the one and only Nate Perry, our prop king of all time. And he is with us from Reno, Nevada at Cal Nev Casino. So, and you've got me, I'm your host, John Fredericks, the Godzilla of truth. Go to GodzillaWins.com. By the way, you go there now, you got great content, bookmark it. You can sign up for our newsletter there. And when you do that, you're automatically registered to win $5,000 in our big giveaway. That's going to be in April. Second prize steak knives. No obligation. You want to sign up for that. And this show brought to you by our great friends and our partner, DraftKings. Just go to DraftKings.com. That's all you have to do. You want to get some free money? This is free money. It's not from the government. It's even better. Go to DraftKings.com. Download the famous DraftKings Sportsbook app. Once you do that, all you got to do is put in $5. That's right, folks. $5. You can't get a cup of coffee at Starbucks for that. Can't do anything for $5. Put in $5. Bet any of the teams that we pick today. Either one, it doesn't matter. Bet any of the teams, and boom, you're going to get $200 instantly right off the bat as soon as you bet that $5. Put in $5, get $200. Now, if your team wins, you got $210 to play with. If they get beat, you still got $200. Either way, you're in like Flint. Little green for the scene for this weekend. You can have fun during the playoffs. We can play in the championship, Super Bowl, the whole thing. Got March Madness coming up, all with that free $200. Godzilla Wins. All you got to do is go to DraftKings.com Sportsbook, download their app, $5. Put that in, promo code Godzilla. You're good to go. Must be 21 or older, and must be obviously in a state where DraftKings is allowed, and then you're good to go. If you have a problem, call the Gambling Problem Helpline, 888-532-3500. Now, folks, let's get right to it, because alone, aside from winning, getting $200 for free bets on DraftKings, right? We got a lot to talk about today. Let's get right to it. Game numero uno, the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Kansas City. Kansas City's -9, guys, -9. That's a lot of points in a divisional championship weekend, right? Jacksonville came back down 27-0. I bet the Chargers. I went to bed counting my money, got up a loser, right? I don't know what the hell happened that game. Saw the replays. Complete choke job by the Chargers. But they were down 27-0. That game was over, right? At the half. Goodbye. They win. Now, Kansas City has had a bye. Well, what does that mean? You guys probably don't know that Andy Reid's record coming off a bye is something like 103. I mean, the guy is absolutely incredible coming off a bye, but this is a lot of points. Let's start with Nate Perry. You've been on the Jags, and you're off the Jags. Now you're on the Jags. Jack's got the Jags to win the whole thing. What do you see here, Nate?
Yeah, well, me and Jack both have the Jags to win the whole thing. I made a bet in July thinking, oh, maybe the Jags take a step up. Jack got on them just before the playoffs started. So we're big Jags guys here. And, I did get off them last week. I was actually on the Chargers with you, John. We were on the same bet, and I thought, oh, easy money. Good time to get off the Jags. And then they came roaring back, blew the bets, and gave me hope. And now I remember why I love this team in the first place. So I'm not getting off the Jags again. That's just bottom line there. Me and the Jags, we're going to roll to the end with this. But it's not just my heart saying that. I think that a lot of what my concerns are with Kansas City and why I kind of like the Jags is that Kansas City just isn't very good defensively. They haven't been good all season. It's been one of their real sort of issues. They're 24th in passing defense. That's not going to get it done against Trevor Lawrence. He's playing at such a high level right now. I just don't see how, they're going to be able to totally neutralize him. So if this game turns into a shootout because neither of them are particularly strong defensively, I think you got to think hard about the 9 points because I'm just not sure that Kansas City is going to be able to take them off the field a ton. So that's sort of where I start with this. And that's why I like Jacksonville plus the 9 points. At this point, I'm just all in on Jacksonville. I'll probably play the money line too. I just keep waiting to see if maybe the line here in Nevada, it's 9.5, and I keep waiting to see if maybe it'll scooch up towards 10, and then I for sure bet it, but I probably will bet 9.5 as well.
All right, so you like the Jags at 9. I mean, it looks very enticing on paper. You see Trevor Lawrence. I mean, what did they outscore them? San Diego, whatever they are, LA Chargers were up 27-zip. I thought what cost them that game, honestly, is one cost. Staley should get fired. The guy's a moron. What cost them that game is they got 2:35 to go. They got the ball. They're driving. They got a third and a half a foot. And instead of just having Abar do a quarterback sneak, which is now you can't stop that with the fullback pushing behind you. You get the first down. Worst cases, they run out the clock. Best cases, they get another field goal, 30-0. They try some stupid end around sweep that gets stuffed. They punt the ball. Now it's 27-7. Staley's an imbecile. Look, this guy has blown more games than any coach in the NFL. He needs to get fired. He's horrible. So we'll see what happens with the Chargers. But the bottom line is they were down 27-zip. Jack?
Right. So they were down 27-0, but they also roared back. I was a huge Jags fan. I was on that team last week and then was despondent when they were down 27-0. And then I went to bed and then they won and I got to gloat all day on Sunday. So I didn't even get to see the comeback because I was so upset that they lost. That was pretty annoying. But no, that's my own fault. I think 9.5 is just way too many for a team that is led by a really good coach and Doug Peterson. Yes, Andy Reid is crazy off the bye, but Doug Peterson is 6-0 against the spread as an underdog in the playoffs. He's 5-1 straight up as a dog. This guy wins. He gets a lot out of his team, a lot out of his quarterback. So I think that the Jags are going to keep this at least close. I'm not going to hammer the money line here. I hope they win. I have them to win the Super Bowl. I've got a pretty good odds on that. But as far as them covering that spread, the Chiefs defense just isn't good enough. Now, I do have 3 prop plays for everybody in this game. This is my most active game for props. The first is Trevor Lawrence under 0.5 interceptions. Other than the Chargers' disastrous first half where he threw 4 picks, 2 of which weren't really his fault, he's only thrown 2 interceptions. That's Trevor Lawrence in the last couple, since week 12, I think. He threw 1 to the Cowboys and 1 to the Texans. So I kind of like, especially with the Chiefs, they don't have a great secondary, so I kind of like the under there because you get plus 120. And I think that the juice is at plus 120 because he threw 4 picks last week, and Vegas is trying to bait a bunch of squares into taking the over. I don't think Lawrence is going to throw a pick here. I also love Chris Jones over on 0.75 sacks. That's at plus 122. The Chiefs sacked Trevor Lawrence 5 times when they played in November. That's a ton. Jones got him for 2. Jones is an incredible defensive interior lineman, and he blows up a lot of plays. He's going to be active against the run game.
So wait a minute. These 2 props you just said, they're inconsistent, right? I mean, you think that the Kansas City is gonna sack him a bunch of times, which means you think you're going to put pressure on him, but then you're saying Lawrence isn't going to throw an interception. I mean,
I didn't say that.
diametrically, well, if you're betting
I didn't say that.
under, if you're betting under, if your prop is under a half, that means in order to win, he doesn't throw any. So,
Okay. So
you're at two ends of the pie here.
No, I'm not. I like Chris Jones to record 1 sack over 0.75. I didn't say Trevor Lawrence is going to get sacked a bunch. He got sacked 5 times against the Chiefs in the game they played in November. I don't think he's going to get sacked 5 times today, but I do think Chris Jones will get him once. That's 1 sack. That's not a bunch of times. Don't, just start throwing words in my mouth. Like I just said one thing and then the other. Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw picks, but that doesn't mean he doesn't get sacked. He got sacked 3 times against the Chargers, I believe. And, I mean, here's the biggest issue with the Jaguars. If you don't like them, it's because Trevor Lawrence is 2-5 straight up, I believe, when he gets sacked 2 or more times. So, if you like the sacks, maybe take the Chiefs there. But both of these teams are going to bring a lot of pressure. So we should see some scrambles and a lot of everybody being active in the backfield. The last prop I like is an anytime touchdown plus 155 for Christian Kirk. The Jags have been targeting him a bunch, and the Chiefs play a lot of man coverage. They played a man 67% of the time against the Chiefs in November, and Christian Kirk just eats when he's man, and he can get over the top. So I think that Christian Kirk probably gets in the end zone. You're gonna see a lot of points in this game. So any of those anytime touchdown numbers are pretty good. But look, this is what smart bettors do. They can take a prop pick where Chris Jones gets a sack, and also take a prop pick where Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw an interception. Just because someone gets pressured doesn't mean they're going to throw a pick. So I mean, we're looking for value here. So I mean,
I'll give you value. Look, I give you value.
I actually have a prop.
What's your bet? You got three prop bets. Put that up on Getter, and then you've got what? You're taking the Jags in 9 because the spread's 9, not 9.5. It's 9 right now.
Yeah.
All right, you're taking a Jag. Okay. Look, I'll give you some value. Bet the Chiefs, right? I don't have to go through all these analytics, right? I just don't have to do it. I just want to make money and have fun. And how do you do that? The Chiefs are like 101 coming off a bye with Andy Reid. I mean, it's some staggering number. That's number 1. Number 2, this is the best, one of the best teams in football, if not the AFC. Number 3, they're at home. Number 4, the Jags are not going to win this game. Number 5, they've got Mahomes. Number 6, this is still the Jags team that should have gotten beat. They should even be in the playoffs. If they don't have a stupid scoop and score, they get beat at home by Tennessee that had half a team and a practice squad quarterback. This is the same team that was down 27-0 and should have been 34-0 to San Diego. They shouldn't be here in this game either. This is the same team that went to Detroit, and Detroit had the ball. This is like 6 weeks ago. They had the ball 8 times. You know how many times they scored? 8 times, right? This team is smoke and mirrors. You guys are buying into the nonsensical hype. I appreciate your millennial enthusiasm for this game, the Jags, and you bet them in props and all this. But at the end of the day, I'm going to bet the best team that is going to win this game at home. Their defense is better than advertised. Mahomes is a magician.
No, it's not.
And they're not good. Their defense is not that good. Jacksonville's defense is not that great. And a lot of these games that they won at the end, okay, they beat Dallas. That was an interception. They came back. I give them credit for that. But you know what? They beat a Tennessee team. I got the shirt on. They beat a Tennessee team 2 times that 50% of the team was out. They had no quarterback. And now, we're supposed to jump up and down Jags and Peterson. All right.
That's your first time bringing up the Titans.
I'm betting. I got my shirt on. I got to bring them up. By the way, if you're a Titans fan, right, this GM, they got nice guy, right? I think he's a great GM choice, Cahoot. But the bottom line is, this is Vrabel's team. I mean, Amy basically said, Vrabel's in charge, do what he wants. So the guy's a placeholder. More about that at another time, not today. I love the Chiefs in this game, -9. Look, I'm not afraid to lay points when I know I've got the superior team. Now, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars get a backdoor touchdown in final 8 seconds to win. That's football, right? But I like the Chiefs -9. You guys are going the other way. So that's number 1. Okay, let's get the game.
Hold on. I think Nate has a prop.
You have rebuttal,
I think
Nate, or a prop?
I think
Yeah,
Nate has
no,
a
I
prop.
do have a prop. What I like for the props too, and I'm not usually a huge prop guy, but I do like the Kelsey over 82.5 receiving yards for this game. The Jaguars are the worst in the league at defending against tight end passing. This has been sort of a trendy one that I've seen online, and I tend to agree with it, though. I mean, he's had at least 95 yards in all 6 of his playoff games last 2 seasons. 82.5 feels like a gimme. So I also played a prop on Travis Kelsey going over 82.5 receiving yards.
I think that's good, right? I mean, I think
Of course
that's
you
a
do.
good-
You like the Chiefs.
Well, I don't do prop bets, but I know that Kelsey's going to be running around in the flat, and as they try to cover their receivers, I think that's a really good prop bet. Jack, I don't know about your. I think not Trevor Lawrence not throwing an interception. I just think that's. I do like your sack play. I don't like the under on Lawrence not throwing interception, especially because I know they're going to pressure him. Okay, let's move on, folks. You got our bets there. Jack is going to put his props up on Getter Live. Don't forget to follow us on Getter Live. And thank you for being with us. And let's get the chat rolling. Couple comments here I want to read. Rich Paxton says, where's the Titans gold chain? Maybe I'll bring that out next week. And Starman says, Godzilla, as you always say, you're what your record says you are. Good one, dude. It's all good. Hey, here's my motto, right? Here's my motto. First of all, we do this for entertainment, but here's my motto. Yesterday was a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is ready cash. I live by that every day. That's why I'm in sales. Today is ready cash. I'm not worried about last week and the Chargers 27-zip lead I blew. I'm on to this week. I love the Chiefs. By the way, check this out. Warpath Coffee. It's got to be the best coffee I've ever had. Jack's brother, Joe, he's only allowed 2 cups of coffee a day in his training regimen. He switched like me to Warpath Coffee. This thing is smooth as silk. Breakfast blend when I get up. Dark roast in the afternoon. Jack knows I love my coffee. I drink 8 to 10 cups a day. He knows that. Dunkin' Donuts was my brand. Forget it. Out. Now, I love Warpath Coffee, and you can get it also. All you have to do, folks, is go to GodzillaLovesCoffee.com, GodzillaLovesCoffee.com. Put in promo code Godzilla, get 10% off. You get it in beans to grind. You get it in ground coffee. You get it in K-Cups like I do. I don't have time for that. K-Cups, whatever you want. You can thank me later, GodzillaLovesCoffee.com. All right, let's get on to game 2 here, folks. It's another game. I love games today. Giants at Eagles. Eagles minus 7.5. Let's go right to Jack.
Sorry, I was posting my prop bets. Why don't you lead me in a little bit?
Okay, let's
Trying
go
to
to
do 2 things at once.
Yeah, I understand. You got to put that up on Getter. We appreciate that. I tell you what, I'll start off, and then we'll go to Nate. So here's a game where Eagles, another team, get a bye at home, right? A lot of people think they're going to be the Super Bowl champ. A lot of people think they're the best team in the NFL. They certainly had the best record. They looked very powerful during the season. Remember the first time these two played, Philadelphia blew the Giants off the field, something like 48-20 or something, right? They basically batted them around like a cat with a toy, right? They just batted them around. Those of you that are on the Giants, okay, I get it. I get you're excited. It's over today. You are not going to Philadelphia. Your team's not good enough. Daniel Jones is not going to get 100 yards rushing like he did a week ago against a sorry, sad sack Minnesota defense that got totally exposed for the frauds they are. This team got a chance to play Philadelphia when it mattered. They got blown out. The second game you can't even count, right? You got practice squad players on both teams, and Giants played half the team. Eagles were not that fired up. When the game mattered, they blew them out. That's the bottom line of this thing. Those of you who are on the Giants, their defense is okay. Their offense is okay. The running game is good with Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones is not going to be scrambling around on designed running plays against this Eagles defense with those 2 ends they have. You can take that off the table. Hurts is back. Look, I make money in these playoffs because I bet the best teams. And yes, you might not cover, but the majority of the time you're going to make money because the better team wins at home. This is not like, I mean, this is not like baseball where somebody throws a 2-hitter that 2 weeks ago was in the minor leagues and you get beat, right? This is 60 minutes of football at home. The Giants now going against a great team. I'm not afraid of 7.5. I'd lay 10. I'm going on the Eagles 7.5. This is the team to beat. I'm going with the Eagles. Easy money minus 7.5. Nate?
Yeah, so let's just talk briefly about I make money because I bet on the best teams in the divisional round of the playoffs. And let's look at some trends. Since 2003, John betting on home favorites in the divisional round of the playoffs would have gone 30, 42, and 1 against the spread. That's 42%. If you were just betting 1 seeds in the divisional round games, you'd go 13, 24, and 1. That's 35%. 1 seed's favored by 10 points or less. Those types of games where you say the best team's going to win, they go 8, 23, and 1 against the spread. That's 26%. So saying that I'm here to make money by betting on the best team in the playoff, that might be a little square, John.
There you go. See, this is what you millennials do. This is why this is such a fun show. You sit there on your computer all day, giving you all this analytics, right? I don't need any of this, right? Does anybody out there that's an Eagles fan? You don't
need any of it. You can just go out there and go 42%.
Because it's baloney. Do you really think the Eagles are getting beat this weekend by the Giants, who they almost laid a 50 spot on, right, when the game mattered? A 50 spot. Now all of a sudden the Giants come back on the road and win because Daniel Jones exploited the Vikings clown show. I mean, come on. But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead with your stats and your teasers and whatever you guys do. Go ahead.
Those were just the stats that I wanted to give out. But that being said, I get why it's hard to bet on the Giants here. I mean, this line feels like they just want you to bet it. And you're thinking the Giants have played 14 one-score games, 7.5, kind of a lot for, it's a lot of points, and it's a lot more considering that the Giants seem to play pretty much everyone close. They never really get blown out. So, I mean, this is a tricky from a handicapping perspective because it feels like everything points to Philly. I mean, Philly is just so good. I think Philly is probably going to win the Super Bowl. If you're just looking at futures, if you're trying to get in late, I think Philly 5-1 is probably a pretty fun bet. If you're just trying to get in now. I mean, they just look so much better, but the 7.5 just feels like too much for me. I think if you're going to play Philly, what you should do probably is play them first half. That's what I did. I played them -4 for the first half. The Giants tend to be really slow starting.
Hey, I like that bet. I like that bet.
And then if they come back, if the back door's open and, Philly kind of blows a 14-point lead, garbage time touchdown or whatever, at least you cashed out at halftime. The Giants always seem to sneak back in the second half. So I'm just playing Philly first half, -4, -4.5, whatever you can get. And then, you don't have to worry about the inevitable backdoor cover that happens with this Giants magic.
So your official pick is Eagles -4 in the first half only.
Yeah,
or 4.5. I think it probably is now. Yeah,
interesting.
That's what I'd pick.
Interesting bet. I can see that. I can see that. I guess all that analytics that you're doing on your laptop, you came up with that. All right, Jack. Nate's got some kind of halftime bet. I mean, I don't even know how to do those on DraftKings. I guess you just go the first half or something. Like I just bet the game. Like all you guys betting all this stuff. I bet the game. It's 7.5. You either bet the money line or you bet to win. Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, well, you don't have to go to a payphone and call up some guy in Queens, and then he writes down your pick on a notebook, and then you lose, and he comes to your door knocking, asking for $300. Like now you can bet different stuff because there's apps. So
you know why, folks, Jack is saying that, because that's exactly what his grandfather did, which was my father on Sunday, because he wouldn't tell Jack's grandmother, my mother, that, he was betting football. So, because she knew, but he wouldn't tell her. So he said he was going to get the papers, right? Back then you got the papers. They were like 5 of them, Star Ledger, Times, whatever. He worked in paper business. So back then phones were a dime. So he'd have a bunch of dimes and he would go to the payphone at the delicatessen, like where we would walk to, and he'd order a cup of coffee and he would keep putting that dime in the payphone. And you had to call until they answered. It would be busy. And you have to start at like 12 o'clock, because if you tried to do it at 10 to 1, you would never get in. And then they would take the phone. The bookmaker would take the bet over he would call from a payphone, and then they'd write it down, and it'd be like, Giants 10 times 5, which is $50. And they would write it down. So that's how Jack has that story, because that's what his grandfather did for his whole life. And he also bet baseball every night and basketball and you name it. So anyway, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, right. So, now you don't have to do that. So you can bet things like if the Eagles are going to be up by halftime and stuff like that, which gives us a lot more opportunity to make money. So one of the things that I really like in this game is the fact that the Giants are finally healthy in the secondary. John can talk all he wants about how the Eagles blew them out twice, especially that first game, I think. But they haven't been healthy in the secondary. They've been playing rookies most of the season. They've got their guys back, and those guys are pretty good. I think that they can at least lock down A.J. Brown enough in some of the Eagles' other weapons. The Giants have a pretty good defensive front as well, so they should be able to. They're not going to give up 44 points again. They should be able to hold the Eagles to meaningful yards and be a little bit more efficient on defense. So that should help their cause. Remember, this is my issue with Dad on the show all the time, is he's always saying, I make money because I pick better teams, and he doesn't ever consider the spread. The spread is 7.5. The Giants are always in 1-score games. If they lose this game in a tight game, the third time these teams have played each other, they're going to lose by 4, 3, 2 points. So you're going to win this game because of the cover. That's kind of the way I feel, especially with that secondary back. I've got a prop for you as well. That's Daniel Jones under 44.5 rushing yards, which seems a little weird because Jalen Hurts and Jones both have over 700 rushing yards per this season. That's the first time that's ever happened in the NFL, where 2 quarterbacks who have over 700 rushing yards show up in the postseason and play each other. So that's really kind of an interesting nugget. Anyway, I don't think Jones is going to be able to run as efficiently in this game because of the Eagles' defensive front, which is so disruptive. Yes, he ran for like 90 yards the first time they played, but the second time they played, he ran for like 20-something. The Eagles' defensive front is not going to let him break loose for 70, 80, 90 yards. And 44.5 is pretty juiced up for him because he ran for like 75 yards last week. I just think he usually hits those overs when the line is set at like 30, 35 points. He doesn't usually hit them when they're set at 40. The Cowboys and the Eagles both have incredible defensive lines. Both are in their division. Last time he played both those teams, he was held to under 30 yards rushing. So I really like that prop bet because I don't think he's going to be able to break loose. I also like the Giants plus 7.5. At this point, because Dad is going, he went 2-4 last week. All he does is lose. For the next 2 games, I think I'm just going to pick against him just because I have such a better chance of winning. If whatever he says, I'll just do the opposite, and then I'll give you a prop bet. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Isn't there like a word for that, like negative energy in reverse, Rubik's Cube or something? Look, you know what? When I go 4-0 this weekend and you go 0-4, right? Then you can buy me Warpath coffee and send it to my home. That'll be our bet.
I won't have any money for Warpath coffee if I go 0-4. You can buy me Warpath coffee.
Just go to GodzillaLovesCoffee.com. I'm going to buy you it just to fire you up. So yes, I will do that. Go to GodzillaLovesCoffee.com. Nate, you got to go to this. This thing is as smooth as silk, man. You're going to love it, Nate, if you drink coffee, especially if you're hungover. Because I know, once in a while you guys are younger. I'm too old for that, but once in a while you get hungover. WarpathCoffee.com. Get the dark roast, man. Go fire you right up. All right, so you guys like the Giants. What did Nate pick? I like the Eagles pick that Nate did. Minus 4.5 first quarter. I like the Eagles minus 7.5. What?
Minus 4.5 first half. Yeah.
And Jack likes the Giants plus 7.5, plus his prop bet, Daniel Jones under 45 rushing. I like that prop bet also. I think that's solid because of the Eagles' defensive end, their defensive line. I just don't see him doing what he did to Minnesota. Boy, that Minnesota defense was exposed last week. Something fierce. I mean, they're pathetic. That's all I can say. All right, guys, we're going on to our next game here, which is going to be the Bengals at the Bills, which this thing has gone up to 5.5, which is kind of amazing. I think it opened at 4. Everybody's betting Buffalo in this game. Bengals have some injuries. We'll talk about that. But this segment is brought to you by our new sponsor, targettrading.co, targettrading.co, and Patrick Asselone. They have the #1 futures training course in the world. #1. Many of our students have gone there. So many of them have been successful. So doesn't matter how much time you have, if you have a little bit of time or a lot of time, if you only can donate or invest a couple hours a day, you can do that. You want to do it full time, you can do that. The weekends, you can study up. It's a great program by Patrick Asselone. And all you have to do is go to targettrading.co, promo code Godzilla. When you get in, you're going to get 15% off. We just had a call the other day, which is on Getter, Genghis Khan. He's been in it. He's done fantastic with it. My wife, Ann, the Fräulein, says it's the best futures training program that she's ever had. Now, it's very disciplined and it's hard work, but a lot of people getting laid off out there, a lot of tech jobs going away, and they have a pathway to have the discipline to beat Wall Street at their own gangster bankster game. Just go to targettrading.co, check them out, targettrading.co, and thank you for that. And we thank Patrick Asselone for believing in our show and for the listeners and the viewers that we have, targettrading.co. All right, let's get to Bengals at Bills. Jack, are you ready to lead off here, or you want to go to Nate?
I can lead off.
All right, let's go Bengals at Bills. Bengals 5.5 point underdog in this game. This is a very tricky game because in the game that was canceled, and thank goodness that young man is now out of the hospital and doing well, and it appears he's going to get a full recovery. Thank the Lord for that. But when that game got canceled, Cincinnati scored on their first possession. They went right down the field. Second possession, they were driving again. They were going to score again. That game was about to be 14-0 Bengals. And the Bills defense had no answer. They had no answer for them. Now, it's only, 8-10 minutes into the game, but that was shocking to me. And then last week, Buffalo gets off to a 17-0 lead. I bet the Bills. I picked them. I thought that was another laugher. I mean, I blew a 17-point lead. I blew a 27-0 lead back-to-back. I thought this game, okay, this is going to be a laugher. All of a sudden, the Dolphins tie it, and they're in a dogfight. 5.5 here is a lot of what, but Bengals got a lot of injuries. Tell us about that, Jack. Where you headed on this game?
So yeah, the Bengals, one of the reasons the spread is 5.5 and kind of keeps moving towards the Bills is because the Bengals are missing 3 offensive linemen. This is a huge problem for them. One of the reasons that they struggled early in the season is because they couldn't protect Joe Burrow. However, the Bills haven't really shown us much on defense lately. When they lost Von Miller to a season-ending injury, it basically took all the air out of the Bills' defense, and they don't create a lot of pressure. They don't necessarily stop the pass. They're not that great in the red zone. So you have to really worry about the Bills' defense in this game, even at home. Even a team that keeps winning at home and is pretty good against the spread at home, you have to still worry about that. I also think you need to consider Josh Allen's turnover margin, which is crazy. He's got 30 turnovers this season. He leads the league in interceptions. Now, there's only been 2 quarterbacks to ever get to the divisional round of a playoff game, or the championship round of a playoff game after leading the league in interceptions. Eli Manning in 2007 Jim Kelly in 1992. So you have to think that Josh Allen is so good that he can surpass this massive trend. Although I'm sure, that's a kind of screwy trend because I'm sure a lot of quarterbacks who lead the league in interceptions aren't in the playoffs. So I'd have to actually see the numbers. But even still, it's kind of interesting. So I think that Allen is probably going to throw some picks here. He seems to be okay with that and then do some hero ball later to get them back in. I just think 5.5. I think it probably moves to 6, and I'll probably take that as well. The Bills are 3-7-1 against the spread in their last, 11 games. The Bengals are like 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games. Both teams are on a hot streak. They're both winning, but the Bills don't cover because they get these massive spreads because everybody respects how good they are. The Bengals still are dealing with some disrespect. They've been undervalued all year. That 5.5 probably moves to 6. I probably take it at 6. I'm gonna take it at 5.5 for the purposes of this as well. So I like both of those. I also like, and I'll stop talking in a minute because I know I'm going fast here. Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown. That's my Bengals prop here. Plus 130. That's some nice juice there. Chase has something like 6 or 7. I think he has 10 touchdowns on the year, and 8 of those have come since week 12. So the guy is finding the end zone just incredibly. The Bills secondary is rough. They're gonna target Chase a lot in the red zone. They're not gonna run the ball and try to move it. I mean, he's gonna get over the top. He's gonna get in the end zone at some point. So take that Chase anytime touchdown. I'm also eager to hear that Dad likes the Bills so that I can be extremely sure of my Bengals bet because I'm sure he's going to tell us why the Bills are the greatest team in the history and the best team always wins. Therefore, they always cover. So as soon as Dad says Bills minus 5.5, I'm taking the Bengals plus 5.5. But Nate, you can go ahead and then we'll get to Dad's pick.
Yeah, so I like the Bills here. I played the Bills -4 when all the injury news broke about the Cincy offensive line problems. They are without 3 starters on the offensive line. That's going to be a huge problem. I mean, it just is. I disagree with your assessment that Buffalo doesn't get any pressure on the quarterback. I mean, I'm looking at their metrics on Football Outsiders, and they're second on offense, they're 4th on defense, they're 1st in special teams. I mean, they're just a balanced team. They have no real clear weak spots. So I think that the idea that Buffalo won't be able to get pressure on Joe Burrow with 3 starting linemen out is a little bit of a fallacy. Yeah, he can get the ball out quicker, but I think it's going to be a bigger problem than maybe we're letting on here. I think that they will struggle. It was what they struggled with last year. It's what they struggled with earlier in the season. It's what they struggled with last game after those injuries happened, letting Baltimore sort of hang around while Baltimore was playing a 3rd-string quarterback. So all of that being said, I think that the Bills are just a better team. I think the Bengals are just sort of getting dealt sort of a big unlucky hand right now, like a little bit of a cooler, as they call it in poker, where they're just sort of running into a hot team here. The offensive line injuries are going to hurt. Their secondary is also banged up. We haven't even talked about that yet. Awuzie's out. Eli Apple's banged up. So they're also dealing with injuries in the secondary for the Bengals. It just looks like the Bills are the healthier team. They're a better team, I think. It's just a tough draw for the Bengals, but I think that the Bills are still probably the right play, even at 5.5. Anything below 6, I think they're still right play.
Well, look, I'm going to make Jack happy because I like the Bills here minus 5.5, simply because Cincinnati's going in there with half a team. And, we have seen when injuries start racking a team's offensive line, everything changes, right? It's just not right. It's just not how many sacks you do on Burrow, which is the problem that the Bengals had early in the season. It goes beyond that. It's the cadence. He's got to get rid of the ball faster. He can't go to the secondary or the 3rd read. There's so many problems. He's not able to scramble the way he did because he doesn't have that little lane there. There's so many factors that go in a game like this when 3 of your offensive starters that have been with you all season on the offensive line are now kaput. You got guys playing on the practice squad that haven't played together. I just think this is a huge problem. They've also got injuries in their secondary, and this is why the line is gone up, and it's probably going to continue to go up. I mean, I bet him today at 5.5 because I was afraid it was going to go up to 6 or 6.5 at game time as they announce more injuries of people that are not playing. It's tough to go into Buffalo and win this game, with that with the Bills Mafia. Now, I do agree with Jack on one thing. The Bills haven't really looked that great in the last, 5 or 6 weeks. And remember, after the second or the third game, everybody anointed them as like the, AFC champs, and they were going to the Super Bowl and they were going to be the best team. Remember that? Remember when they won the first 2 games by like tremendous margins? They looked unstoppable. Well, football's a long season. Got 18 weeks, 17 games. They really haven't looked that great. And, last week was kind of a meltdown, right? 17-0. And all of a sudden they're tied at 17-7, then 17-17, and they're in a dogfight. And the Dolphins, with a third string quarterback, could actually won that game. So a lot of issues the Bills have, but Nate, I'm with you. You can't go into a game like this with half a team and all these injuries on defense and offensive line and think that you're going to go to Buffalo and be able to compete at the level you've been competing. So I like the Bills here, minus the 5.5. I'm back to what I said earlier, regardless of what analytics show in the past. Buffalo is going to win this game. And then the other thing, you look at the Cincinnati defense last week, right? They were up 9-10 zip, and all of a sudden they're in a dogfight. And actually, if it hadn't been for that fumble at the end, the Ravens win that game, and it's the Ravens that are going to Buffalo. So they really shouldn't even have won that game. So that's why I like the Bills minus 5.5. I'm just not afraid to lay points. A lot of people, they look at this. There are a lot of sucker bets out there. Jacksonville +9 to me is a biggest sucker bet in 2023 because it looks enticing, right? Then it's not good for you because the team's not gonna win, and you're likely to get blown out. So I love the Bills games here, minus the 5.5.
These games are always closer than you guys think, and this idea, Nate, that like the Bengals had trouble, or the Bengals had trouble with a third string quarterback last week. Yeah, that's true. So did the Bills. Just as Dad said, Skylar Thompson is just as bad as it was Huntley, who's a second string quarterback. So actually, Skylar Thompson's worse than Tyler Huntley. We all know that. Tyler Huntley, great quarterback, to be honest with you. So one of the things that I think we just need to keep in mind here is that the Bills just haven't looked that good. I don't really care what the DVOA says. A lot of that DVOA numbers are influenced with the fact that Von Miller, when he's on that field, the Bills have one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's not the case right now. They look lost. And for Skylar Thompson to rip them up like they did, I understand the injury part of this, and I get that going to.
Hey, Jack, you froze. You froze.
I just think throw ball out, and I think the Bills struggle.
Hey, Jack, you froze up here. So
okay,
on our Zoom. So if you can get back, are you good? Good now? Is that better? Yeah, get out. Let's.
I don't know.
Yeah, now you're fine. Yeah, you're fine now. Okay, so make your analysis here.
I can't even remember what I was going to say. I just think that Nate's analysis is dumb. So I'm going Bengals plus 5.5. That's my analysis.
Okay. Nate and Dad like Bills minus 5.5. Jack's going to be the iconoclast here and go with the Bengals. That's a square bet. I don't know what a square bet is, Nate, but if I did know what a square bet is, I have no idea what a square bet is. I asked you that the other day, what a square bet is. I have no idea what it is, but if there was ever a square bet that I don't know what it is, it's the Bengals plus 5.5 square bet. All right, let's get to the final game here. And as you're looking at these games, you're probably saying to yourself, I need a new set of tires, right? I know you are. So everybody needs tires. Tires are the new black gold. You guys get that, right? Eggs are the new Bitcoin. By the way, Jack, just so you know, your brother eats 6 eggs a day, 7 days a week. 6 times 31 is 186 eggs he eats a week. Eggs are $6 a dozen. Just Joe's eggs are costing me $100 a week, just a month, just his eggs. Forget me eating any. That's why I had to get off eggs. Eggs are the new Bitcoin. Tires are the new black gold, right? Go to tireget.com. Here's what you do. You're going to save money. This is a great website. Me and my partner, David Penn, we love tires. I love tires. Go to tireget.com. Just put the make and model of your car in. All the different models come up. You can get them shipped, put them on yourself, save money. Or we've got hundreds of affiliates. You can ship them right to your affiliate. They'll put them on. Turnkey price. You're good to go. You're going to save money. Put in promo code Godzilla. You're going to get 5% off. I love tires. They're the new black gold. Don't be buying your tires from them commie tire makers. Get them from us. Go to tireget.com. That's tireget.com. And my friend David Penn cried in his beard when the Vikings went down last week. Sorry, David. Tires are the new black gold, tireget.com. Okay, let's get to the final game here. I'm going to start. Nate, I'm going to start off, if you don't mind. Cowboys going to Niners. This is my best bet. Cowboys going to the Niners. Niners are 4. Everybody's anointing the Niners. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. They're great. They got a great defense. Here's the thing. Here's my analysis, right? I'm going to go back to the great Dennis Green, coach, Arizona Cardinals. The great Dennis Green, in one of the best football lines ever in the history of football, at a press conference, when talking about the Bears, he said, they are who we thought they were. That's the Niners. They are who we think they are. We know they're good. We know their defense is great. We know Shanahan's offensive scheme is very simple. We know that Brock Purdy can get to the sticks. We know he manages a game. We know how good McCaffrey is. We know exactly who they are. That's a good thing. And they're really good. And if they win, they're going to give the Eagles a tumble. No question about it. But here's the thing, folks. We don't know how good Dallas is. We don't know. If you looked at that game against Tampa last week, and I know they had some defensive issues, Dak Prescott, who has gotten all kinds of heat, became an elite quarterback last week. He annihilated that defense with the precision of a surgeon and the power of a chainsaw. I mean, Tampa was never in that game. Dallas's defense has stepped up. They got a great running game. We don't know how good they are. Look, maybe they're not that good, Nate. Maybe the Dallas that we saw in Nashville on a Thursday night where Dak threw 3 interceptions. They fumbled the ball, but that was a meaningless game. The Titans had half a team, right? They weren't playing the other half of their play. They're all practice squad players. They weren't up for the game. We don't know how good this team is. That game last week, you look at that, you say, okay, maybe they're coming together. Maybe this is the Cowboys getting on a roll. They finally got over the hump. They finally won their first playoff game. They finally won that game at home. Now they go to San Francisco. I think they're loose. I think they got that monkey off their back, so to speak. I think Dak got the monkey off his back. I don't know how good this team is, but I'm going to take a shot here. They're better than anybody thinks they are. And I'm going with the Cowboys. I'm taking the 4. I love that. I think they're going to win the whole game. I love taking points when I think the team can win the whole game. So I love Dallas here. Nate?
I don't know how to think about this game. I've been thinking about it all week, and I haven't bet it yet. I mean, obviously my heart says Cowboys. But I don't know. I mean, the thing about Dallas is you're exactly right. We don't know how good they are. They've had games where they have just absolutely dominated teams, right? They thrashed the Vikings in November. They thrashed the Buccaneers last week. And the games were just not even competitive. They looked so dominant. The defense looked incredible. They ran the ball however they wanted to with either Pollard or Zeke. Dak looked comfortable. But then they have games where they step up a little bit in competition and they just look completely lost out there. They look, like everything sort of goes vanilla with the playbook and they just don't look great. So they're a really hard team to handicap from that perspective, because some weeks they look awesome, they score 40 points, and you think this is the best team I've ever seen. And then other times you see them, and it's like they can't move the ball at all, and they just punt the whole time. The special team stuff also worries me. Mar missing 4 extra points last week did nothing to make me feel awesome about this game. It also makes this line really weird at 3.5, because you know that Mar might just go out there and just whiff a bunch more extra points, and then this number gets to a really squirrely place. So that being said, I think that San Francisco is real good. I think that they are a really bad matchup for the Cowboys. You know, Micah Parsons is elite as a pass rusher, but the 49ers have a pretty good line, and Trent Williams might be the best lineman in football. You know, so I just don't know. You know, there are no weak spots for San Francisco. They're awesome at running the ball. They're awesome at passing the ball. They're awesome at defending the pass. They're awesome at defending the run. They're good in all aspects of this. They're a more balanced team, and they're just a better team, more complete team than Dallas is. I think that Dallas is going to have to catch some sort of really weird voodoo magic for them to be able to win this game. So I think, you know, my head says the Niners are probably the right play, -3.5. Obviously, I'll be pulling for the Cowboys. I have like 18-1 on them to win the Super Bowl. But this just feels like a really weird spot for them. The Cowboys just aren't consistent enough for me to think that, you know, they go into this game and don't just get smoked by the Niners. I just see a scenario where the Niners get up early, they just put it on the Cowboys panic. Dak throws like 4 interceptions because he's like trying to press, and then they just get smoked. And that's kind of how I think this game goes. So none of the trends back me up on this, but I think that the Niners are in.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll take whatever you bet at 18-1, right? I'll take your bet. I'll double your money. If you bet $100, I give you 200. You bet 150, I'll give you 3. You can get out of the bet right now. I'll double your money cash, and I'll take your 18-1.
I don't want out of the bet.
Well, you don't want out of the bet because you got 18-1 on a team that you don't know how good they are, right? And this is the thing. Giants, I'm sorry. 49ers won 11 in a row, right? Who'd they beat? Why don't you go down the list and tell me what good team they beat? What, they beat Seattle? Okay, fine, right? Or they beat the Rams twice. Oh, I'm impressed. Or they beat the Cardinals twice. Whoa, juggernaut. I mean, you start going down, you say who this team beat, right? They almost got, at the beginning of the season, they got beat by the Bears. So I know how good they are. We know who they are, but you look down the stretch, who they beat. That's the question. You know,
I think that
Dallas has had to play the Eagles 2 times. They played the Giants 2 times. You know, they played some really good teams, and then they had to beat, you know, Tampa at home. They beat the GOAT. By the way, he might end up in Tennessee. Yay. So we don't know what's going on here. But you know, this idea that the 49ers are invincible. Yes, I get it. If they were playing the Eagles and I was getting 5 with the Niners, I'd probably take the Niners, right? If I was getting 5 in Philadelphia. But I'm getting a Dallas team that comes in. Here's the thing. This team has been maligned for so long. And right now, they're hot. I like catching teams on a wave. That's how the Bengals got to the Super Bowl last season. They got on a wave. They just got on a wave. They got hot. I think Dallas is going to get hot. And I'll tell you the other thing, right? They don't have anything to lose. They have all the pressure here is on San Francisco. Now, you answer me this question, Nate. Answer me this question. It's the 4th quarter. The game is tied. Do you want to bet on Dak Prescott, or do you want to bet on Purdy, that's never had a playoff game, that's had 10 or 11 NFL games under his belt, that was the start of the season as the 3rd string quarterback? Do you want to bet on Dak here? Game is tied going to the 4th quarter. Here's my question. Game is 24-24. Start of the 4th quarter. You want to bet on Dak, or do you want to bet on Brock Purdy? That's my question. Me, I'll take Dak all day long. Experience, you know, under pressure, been to the playoffs, gets it against the guy that started the season as a 3rd string quarterback. These are all the intangibles here you have to put in play.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, yeah, if it's a close game, like obviously I want Dak, but I don't think that it's going to be a close game if I think that Dallas I think that one team or the other just runs away with it. Like, I don't think that there's a scenario where we're like kicking a field goal at the end of this game to decide the winner. I think that somebody just gets hot. I think that Dak probably throws like 3 interceptions in the first half and this game is over by the fourth quarter. Or, Brock Purdy just totally falls apart and Dallas starts to roll. Dallas tends to play pretty well when they get ahead because they can run the ball so effectively with Zeke and Pollard. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. And I give you a hard time about your analysis, but your analysis actually is pretty sharp here. I think there is an argument to be made that Brock Purdy hasn't really played a lot of good defenses. I'm not really sure that Dallas is a good defense, but I think that it's fair to say that Brock Purdy hasn't really faced anyone that's a stiff level of competition. So I think it's fair to wonder sort of what he looks like in a sort of big playoff game. He didn't look awesome against Seattle in the first half of that game, but then he calmed down and he looked great in the second half. So it's really tough to sort of tell what we're going to get. I mean, obviously you think he'd be a little bit more comfortable, but obviously the nerves are higher too. So for your argument's sake, yeah, I want Dak in a close game. I just don't feel like it's going to be a close game. I feel like one of these teams just is much better than the other one. I just don't know which one it is.
Who's your pick?
To be really honest with you. Niners
who's
minus
pick?
3.5.
Oh
Niners minus 3.5.
You're betting against your
God
favorite
help me.
team again. Do you know how bad juju that is? I mean, I just can't believe you do that. Why even follow a team, right? My friend Jimmy Starr in Indy, we do the same thing. For 17 weeks, the first bet we make, he's a Indianapolis fan. First bet we make, he bets the Colts, I bet the Titans. On as soon as the line opens. And then that's gone. And then you go to the rest of the games. You know, betting against your own team is like just so bad. I've had this talk before. You have no emotion. You're cold, man. You're just steely. You're cold. You're cold, man. Oh my God.
Think of it like this. I'm going to be happy either way.
All right, Jack, go ahead. We got Jack. I'm sorry we ate all your time up. Nate's a cold fish. Go ahead and you got 2.5 minutes,
Yeah.
Jack.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry.
I think it's been obvious I've been dealing with little technical difficulties, so it's great that you guys talk forever. That's good. I would say that I like the Niners -4 because I can't trust Dak in this position. However, Brock Purdy, that makes me nervous. The Niners got a lot of separation last week against the Seahawks. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that this week. That's the thing with the Niners is their weapons are just open. They're wide open all over the field. So Purdy doesn't have to be very good, and he underthrows everything. So Purdy's not really that good. Shanahan schemes to protect his quarterback. I still think the Niners probably win this game because they have the nastiest defense I've seen, and I think that they'll probably put Dak on the ropes and he'll make a dumb decision at the end of the game. -4, gosh, I'd love -3. I would love -3. But don't do anything crazy with this. Don't tease it. I don't have any props for you. This is a tricky game with two teams that could win. So I'm going to take the Niners -4 here just because I still believe in that San Francisco defense, and also I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. So let's just keep rolling. I believed in that team early. I saw the value here, so I'm going with the Niners -4. But man, it's a tricky bet. It's going to be a tough one. It'll be tough, but I like the Niners.
Before week 1 started and we did our analysis, you picked the Niners to go to the Super Bowl, and in the NFC, I picked. I think I picked Dallas, right? If memory serves me, but you picked the Niners, so I have to give it to you there. I don't remember. I think Nate picked the Vikings, so sorry, Nate, but I went with Dallas. Dallas got a hell of a shot. Look, we'll see what happens. Jack likes the Niners -4. Dallas is my best bet here. I love them in this game. I think they're going to win the whole game, and there's a lot of Dak hate going on out there, right? There's just a lot of it. And this is
throws tons of interceptions.
I know. I get it. I get the Dak doubters. I'm a Dak believer after that game against Tampa. I'm a Dak believer. I think Dak's gonna be the story this weekend. It's not gonna be Trevor Lawrence. It's not gonna be Josh. It's not gonna be Burrow. Dak Prescott is gonna be the story this weekend. I love the Cowboys +4. Thanks for joining us here.
He's gonna throw 7 interceptions.
Thanks for joining us here
Book it
on
now.
Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com, GodzillaWins.com. Follow us there. Sign up for our alert. This is a great website. We got great writers. We're building it from nothing. Jack, who you see here, is our editor. He's doing a fabulous job. Nate, senior contributor. Go to GodzillaWins.com. And hey, get that $200 in free bets right now. Just go to Godzilla Wins, download their app. It's so easy to do. Put a promo code Godzilla, put a $5. Bet any of the teams that we picked today. You bet whoever you want. You're going to get $200 of free bets instantly. They're giving money away. You're going to have so much fun. Until next week, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on Saturday's edition of Godzilla Wins.